we'd like to thank the lady at the door, and we also like to thank Jerk. What's the name of it, Lisa?
The Jerk Centre.
Yeah, the actual Jerk Centre. They gave us chicken and bread. They gave all the actors loads of chicken and food. Oh, excuse me, you're part of us as well. Hey, we'd like to thank this little boy because he only came with his sister because she's a childminder. And he came in and he blended. I think he's done exceedingly well. So he didn't. Right, if you've got any questions, just fire.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, no, fire. Sorry, that'll be fire. Sorry.
Hi. For the director here, there seems to be a lot of you within this play.
There's a lot of feeling, yeah,
Yeah.
because I've experienced quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be very much a cathartic experience for you and
Yeah, it is.
allow you to expel. Is that correct?
Yes,
And how did it work for you?
it worked well. This is the hardest place to actually act because there's no lights, there's no spotlights, there's no this, there's no staging or whatever. It's very hard. This is the most hardest type of acting because you're acting to a raw audience and you have to make it live. The actors have to make it real, and I think they've done really well. Yeah.
How many Jamaicans fought in World War I?
Now, my last count is that in total, from the Caribbean and all over, it was nearly 1 million
Okay.
from all of the Caribbean and etc. Yeah. More questions? Don't be shy. Just ask us.
There was a thought that this play could be taken into schools. What's happened with that thought?
Well, as I said, all of the actors here, they have to work and they got children, etc. So it's quite hard to actually take it into schools at the moment. And yes? No. Excuse me? Yeah, somebody answer. Then everyone's like, come on, answer.
Excuse me, I'm very sorry, I don't know about the brand and the puppet stereo, okay, so when you like some background music, maybe a bit more interested.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Right. Anyone got any more? Right. Who would like to answer that question? His question, sorry?
Well, your answer to me was more about the availability of the actors, but I mean, if it was an abbreviated to play a shortened play, and maybe you could take it into schools with different players stepping in, depending on availability. So my thought is there any future about it being taken into schools as regards availability of actors?
Might be, I think. Excuse me, dear. Excuse me, are you able to sit down, please? Because I know you very well. Can you sit down? Because they're asking questions and you're talking at the back.
Me?
Yes, you sir.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I've got one more question.
Yeah, go on.
This is a question to the cast, so you can answer us in that. What was your learning curve about the play and the history of what you just gave us? I mean, some of you may have known about World War I, some of you may have not. So, what was your learning curve?
I think different thing for me personally. Different things. It prompted me to do some research. It prompted me to look into areas to understand the experiences of our countrymen who had contributed to the war. When I was telling other people about the play, interesting thoughts came to them. One of my friends was saying, "Oh, was he the guy that played for Tottenham Hotspur?" And so there's little. What I found personally was there was little bits of individual stories about individual black heroes from all over the Caribbean, America, whatever, that have, you know, that are just waiting to be told. They're just numerous in number. That's my immediate take.
Any more questions?
About the costumes, the actual costumes, actually researching how the costumes were and the authenticity of it, and then actually some of us making our costumes. This lady did the majority of the female costumes. And the gentlemen, the men were actually donated to Lorna from a shop. Lorna, what is the name of the shop?
The it's Mad World, but the guy that actually done it, he's Irish, he's white, and his name is Sean. And he actually believed in this, so you know, that was really nice of him. Sorry, you had a question.
I'm a writer as well, and I'm writing something very similar at the moment. And I just wanted to ask how there's not that many black historical plays out there. There's not many of us doing this kind of thing, and what we can do to make it more like get a wider audience. Because a lot of like black writers or whatever, they're always writing about gun crime and drugs and stuff, and we need more of this stuff so that people know that, you know, black people didn't just come here in the 50s. What do you think, apart from like going into schools and stuff, what else do you think maybe we could do?
Well, we may be taking it to you know, a theatre quite soon, but we also need to work it out. We need to have talks, and we have actually asked Mr. Bryson. Please stand up, please, Mr. Bryson.
Well, can't you manage to do
You
that?
told them you're not very well, poor thing. Okay, all right. This man, he is top notch. He's a lawyer, he's everything. So we're actually hoping to actually take it to a theatre quite soon.
I don't think that's giving justice to you. I mean, you are the people who is doing the play. And I just more or less, I'm only concerned about the audience as such. Because how do you find that the first production you have, 12 What Angry Men or something? How does it compare with this?
Well, when I actually done 12 Angry Women, it was Rampag.
Yeah, that's what
It was Rampag. Here, I still, this is actually not just a pen and paper. This is actually coming from the heart. This is coming from another place. So, and it is actually going to get bigger, and and I am going to put 100% in. This is going to get bigger, because I am sick and tired of hearing another young man shot or stabbed. It has to stop. They have to start thinking that they achieved something. They got every right to be here. They don't have to use a gun to actually prove anything. They have a history, and that's the main reason why I am going to push this. Any more questions?
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you. It is time that we stop featuring gun crime and the rest of it. And it's old hat now, to be honest. We do actually need to come together as a community and doing this and actually supporting each other and getting out the fact that we did have a history and we did go before slavery, we were, and we had a history long before slavery. And we weren't porch monkeys, we were people who were learned people, wise people, yeah, and we came with love, with most of what we came with, yeah. And it took them a long time to enslave us. You know, the history books have written out lots and lots of things. Lots and lots of things have been written out in history books because it doesn't fit in with So young men, especially young black men and women, if you don't have, I believe very strongly, if you don't know your past, how can you possibly go forward?
Yeah, but at the same time, what you got to keep in mind is that the whole society's change, and you need to sort of do some sort of thing to capture the audience you have out there now, and then put it with the past to the present, because life is a changing motion, and you know that change is always there, and unless you kind of find that, be able to adapt yourself to that change while you remember what happened in the past, because as you know what it is society is, some people doesn't really concentrate much on the past.
No, it's not. Sorry, it's not the past. What I'm saying is, if you know that you had something of value before slavery, because I always say, you know, is that our history? Yeah. But if you had something special before that, yeah, then if you look back and you think, young men will think, well, yes, I came from somewhere.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I want to finish. What I meant was that you have to educate the society we live in now, the people that you need to educate them, you know, about, that's what you need to do, so to get them to, that's what
I think it's a good way of doing it.
But I think as well, I think the gun crime and knife crime can't be pushed under the carpet, because it's still got to be out there to show the young ones, because at the moment they fear the streets before they don't fear like the authority, they fear the streets, because they know if they don't carry a gun on the street, they could get shot themselves. But they know if the authorities get them, they'll probably get 5 years. But if there's someone on the street hits them, they might not survive. So I think that writing still has to come out to show the kids there is another way, and not brushed under the carpet.
Can I just say, somebody told me some time ago that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And my first step was really, the first time I came back from Jamaica and I heard the reading of Charles. I never knew anything at all about World War. I wasn't interested. As black people, somebody asked how it is you take such a subject forward. Most of us, well, I might talk for myself. Some of us, like me, we did not want to know about it. We still don't care. We watch everything else. We would go to every other place, that streamlined every other subject, and we push this under the covers. It's not, no matter how much it is publicized, it is published on Facebook, it is on different sites, everybody's trying to invite people, yet the support is kind of poor. It's not that it's not promoted, it's just that we're not, and so then how do we carry it on? So we have to come together within each person have to bring somebody on, like try to educate, start from ourselves who are here. We really thank you very much, you've been a wonderful audience. But for my lady here who said that she would want to, that's how you do, you go and you support and you advertise within the groups and try to get a bigger audience. You go to people, you support us, let us know when you're having your thing so we can come and support you. And we form our own group, and so it gets bigger. That's how you form alliance. So you know you're on a subject, you know, that kind of thing.
And I think it's important that directors, creators, artists like yourself, Lorna, do carry on, doing the research, putting the work there, providing the information, providing the format, to counteract that balance with the present day, because the past is important, and the educational aspect of it is very, very important, because I think that brings about change, brings about understanding. So I think that's key. People like yourself, Lorna, really continuing to find the stories, to find the gems, to find the things that have been ignored. There's lots and lots of them which I think are important. Yeah.
Sorry.
How can you use this as a catalyst for youth? Because when you're teaching people that are not in that culture of guns, it's easy for us to absorb it. But when you're trying to for the youth to absorb it, how do you teach a young male that he should, by teaching him this, you're going to make him move away from the gun and not see the gun as his only option in protecting himself, and how do you reconcile those
Right.
things? For a person like me, it's like it's educating me and I'm hungry for information.
Yeah, I know.
But for a guy that wants to, that sees the gun as his protection, and I'll do 5 years for carrying a gun because I need my protection. How are you going to?
It's about him. We actually went to Shat's Palace, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had some young people there. They're like 14, 15, 16, and a couple of the guys actually came up to me. Now they were rough. And they were about 16. And it was really nice. It was really nice when they said, "What happened to the soldiers then? Lorna, you can tell me, man. What did they do? Could they say about the zigzag and that?" And then I said, "Well, what is it that you want to know?" But the business, I said, "If you want to know, I'll tell you." And I started to talk to them in a certain way. I said, "Listen, especially the black youth, right?" I said, at that time, they were fast runners. Because of the slave trade, which I hate to say, right? They had the best males, yeah? So the best males or whatever, they had sons, and their sons were tall, they were strong. So what happened is that when they were 15, they looked older, and they were fast runners, but you know, they had to go out and fight as such because you know they wanted to do that, but they didn't want to die, so they had to actually be creative, okay? And I explained that to these youths, and you know they wanted more. They say, "Yeah, but Lorna, the bin lids. We talk about the bin lids." I said, "Now it's called a what's it called now? A bulletproof vest. That's it. That's where it came from." I said, "And you lot done it. Your ancestors done it." "What? You mean 100 years ago? What? You mean my grand? I said, "Yeah, we do it." I said, "You lot created a bulletproof vest. Zigzag. What do you mean zigzag? You mean that film then when 007 and run and he zigzag and all that stuff? You lot created it." So I talked to them like that. And they said, "What do you mean?" I said, "That's what your ancestors done." Because the people that were in charge of the armies at the time, that's why millions of them there. Black and white, a lot of young people died. That was the worst war ever. And because the people in charge had no war tactics. The people, they were there because they were born into very, money or rich or whatever, or, own mansions and things. And automatically those people were put in charge. And they were useless. So I spoke to them about that, and they said, "Why? No, I never knew that."
And I think that's the key.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
That's the key.
But we're the champion.
That's how you got
I
to
said,
teach them.
yeah.
That's how they got to
But
understand.
whether or not that would change them carrying a gun, I don't know. But I hope it will open up their minds to have a vision, a different type of vision, and know. You see?
Anything that inspires them.
Oh, sorry, this
anything
kind of question. So can I
positive
just?
that says come from
Sorry,
them.
yeah, go on. Sorry. Okay.
It kind of incorporates what this lady said, what that lady at the bottom said, to then what he said, which was basically, in order to get people interested, you have to incorporate what you're trying to show them from history with what's going on now, to incorporate it to then draw people in,
And
give you a wider audience. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah, no, actually, it's
No, it wasn't a question. It was sort of a follow on from what she was saying, and backing up what he was saying is that that's what that's what makes a difference to somebody today, is knowing where they come from and things in their ancestry that will inspire them, because there are a lot of youths who are turning to crime these days, and one of the reasons that they're doing it is because they don't feel as if they've got anything to lose. They don't feel as if they've got any worth. You know, so they're turning to the bad things to make them feel as if they've got some worth. They need to be educated that they're not just born some useless black man. There is good. There's good in their ancestry. Anything that helps them to know about that, learn about that, is good. If they learn things that, like Lorna was saying about the whole zigzag thing, anything that teaches them that black people have done good things in the past helps, I believe.
What I'd like to say, it's not a question really. I think it's kind of, I'm sure we're coming to the end, and it's kind of like summing things up. And I've sat here and I've listened from this corner in front and this side, taking on board everything people have said. And by the way, I'm an actress myself. This is the only play I haven't starred in with Lorna. I think we've starred in about 7 of her plays. And just sitting here, looking at the play, I can see how valuable the play is. But this man over here, right in front of us, said the most valuable thing. And he said that the play should be in the schools. Now, we know, and I know, Anthony knows, it's about funding. There's no money. Actors and actresses give up their times most of the time for free. So therefore, this play really should be in schools, because although we're saying that young black men and women feel as though they don't have anything of any value to hold on to, people seem to be saying that the history is the main thing for them. I tend to disagree, because I think there's more than just history, and I think there's more than just gun and knife crime. The reality is this: a place such as this should be funded. Now, the government should actually give funding for more black community theatre. Therefore, we have Black History Month coming, we have certain times at Easter. Plays like this should be in schools, maybe on a monthly basis, maybe in the libraries, maybe in other community projects, in youth clubs. We shouldn't have to be sitting here struggling and talking about how we can put this to use.
But is anybody pushing it?
Because, sorry, I do understand what you're, 1 minute, because at the end of the day, one play won't change an army. One play won't change Mr. So-and-so's son next door from carrying a knife because he feels that he has to protect himself on the street. What the actors and actresses have shown tonight is exactly what was happening at the time when we were here in this country. And today we are here in this country, and other things are happening, but just on a different level. So how do we pull it all together? What we need to do is we need to find a way through to Parliament so that Parliament understands. Then we need a speaker, I guess. So Parliament understands that there is a cry for help for young black people in Britain. And the reality is, everybody in this country actually is here for a reason, and they are meaningful. So therefore, we need help. We can put the plays on. Will anybody take notice? Today, somebody pointed out, you did, we are all sitting here in this room. How many of us have a gun and a knife? We are looking at a play, and we are watching a play, and for me, it was fantastic. For you, it was fantastic. But again, like you said, the message has got through to us, but is there any young black men inside here that it's got through today? That's the point. So the point is, how do we get it into the areas that it needs to be in? Black community theatre has been around for a number of years. It's just that for some reason the audience don't come. Many of Lorna's plays have been out, and we have been jam-packed solid. We've been as far as Birmingham, Lorna. So we've been all over. I've written plays myself. The thing is, we have to pinpoint the people that we want to come. How do we do that? I go back to what I've just said, or shall I say, I reiterate, we need to go to Parliament and we need to air our views. They need to understand that we are professionals, and it's not just a fun thing because only 4 or 5 people turn up. It's a serious thing, and I'm quite sure Anthony would agree.
I would, but I still maintain what I said earlier, is that it's also branding. It's
and branding, of course. Maybe maybe we could rebrand it, Lorna. You know, sometimes
You want to reach out to
to
them,
reach
you have
out
to
to different people, and maybe the way that we do that is maybe incorporating maybe somebody else, such as this lady who is a writer. Maybe we can kind of link with her. She might have something to offer. The thing is, you know, a pear's a funny shape, but once we start peeling it, you'll get to realise that, you know, we all eat from the same pear.
I have to say something very honestly. Do you know how many directors have actually tried to steal this play? I wrote this as an essay 10 years ago. And since it's come on, next year it's going to be big. I know in here, it's not coming from a worldly place. This is coming from a spiritual place. So I know it's going to be big. This is just testing ground. This is where we're testing.
But what I'm saying is, Lorna, I've sat here and I know I am sitting here because I am in the audience, Lorna. It would be different if I was on stage with you, and I'm looking at it as if to say, well, my goodness, this could be, you know, a happening empire.
But I need to explain something to you. This year, since I've just been rehearsing, do you know how many people have tried to sabotage? That's why our next play is going to be. It's going to be that sabotage, trying to get the script, trying to get the ideas. We've had people that I've auditioned from way over coming down. The first thing they ask, I know, okay, first thing I've asked for is the script, is this. It's terrible. I can't even explain it.
So then how do we move
But
forward?
what I'm saying is that they know that it's good.
But then how do we move forward?
People are waiting for it to go into a theatre. That's what they're waiting for it to go into a theatre. And I'm not going to give up because it's coming from a special place. And I feel it. Actors, did you feel you feel it? And I must admit, all these actors. Sorry, love, I wouldn't ignore you.
No, Lorna, I'm just saying. So how do we, Lorna? What you have to understand is what I'm saying to you is I know I've been there with you, but what I'm saying is how do we move forward? You asked us to answer questions. How do we do it? What about sabotage?
Can I just answer that for a minute? Can we just take a point? And if she put a point forward there, therefore she just mentioned Parliament. Therefore you must target your MPs. That's why if you want to either go to the right channel, you target your MPs, and that's how you get into Parliament.
Yeah.
What does Parliament do though? What's Parliament doing?
Okay, do you know how many I've emailed? That's it. David Cameron, Labour Party, David Lammy. I can struggle, and you know, as soon as you're saying, that's why I said I don't care anymore about this government business or politicians or whatever. As long as the people want to do it, I'm going to do it and it will be big. What it is, if you're doing something positive that reflects on the history and about changing the history or making the real history more open, it is a threat to this society. If you're doing gun crime, it's not a threat to them. Because it's gun crimes every day, gun crime, whatever. And we give money for that, But as soon as you start touching on World War I and all this, and I saw the Queen's thing. It was terrible. Sorry, I do apologise. Sorry, who's Owen? Owen. Sorry, Owen.
I just want to say to you, Dorothy Lorna, I was like this.